We're my sisters, we got this sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. We're my sisters, we got this sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. Suck snakes. Sis, you know we on a mission, no games. Help each other get over some things. Real strength, bring change. Cause we've been through the range. Now it's time to shine like let's talk about life skills. We building up our quality to right wills. We rolling out of poverty, love heals. So we become the prodigy of how a season should be a really hot commodity. Stand together, we united, hold hands. Support each other's dreams and our plans, doing everything we can. Just to show we understand the power of a friendship, fam. Live life
on purpose, you know, we're worth it.
There you go. Hello, my loves, my sistership. There's the sistership right there. Love, and blessings this amazing Sunday on the Sistership Network. You know, we come at you every Sunday with some powerful messages, and today is no different. Before we actually get started, want to introduce our amazing panel here. Our love of the sistership. We'll start with Miss Spicy Jane. Hello, Jane.
Ooh, on daylight savings time day, right? Daylight savings time. Yeah.
Spring forward. And we got our girl, Tiffany Rowe.
I am like so excited about today. Like I said, I had date weekend. It was cut an hour short. You know, that's kind of Jack needed my date time. However, thank you guys. It's Sunday. It's Sistership Sunday. Yes.
And I love the energy because it is spring forward. So we'll talk about that as we decide how we're going to move forward, right? Because we all talk about how we heal, how we move forward from anything that we're dealing with in our lives. With that said, I cannot say anything without giving our amazing guest here today, Ms. Doris Johnson. Everything Doris. Doris, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Girl, look, you have some fire stuff going on Everything Doris and relationships. So we love watching everything you do. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
One thing that we wanted to just quickly talk about, because I do have to announce something really quick, and then we'll kind of get into the topic for today, is that on August 27th, mark your calendars, 3 to 7 p.m. in East Stroudsburg, Dansbury Park, there is going to be Unity for the Community event. More further details are coming. But this is going to be an amazing event, a true community event, engaging many different organizations. We'll have music. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have just a whole slew of things. We're very excited about this opportunity. And thank you to the township and everyone involved to get this off the ground. But this is going to be an amazing opportunity for us to truly come together and unify as a community. So August 27th, 3 to 7 p.m. In East Stroudsburg, Dansbury Park. So save the date.
11 to 7.
I'm sorry, 11 to 7. My apologies. 11 to 7. 11 to 7. That's right. Yeah. It's an 8-hour day. Yeah. We got to fit a lot in 8 hours. So apologies.
So count me in. Count me in.
Me too.
And I'm going to give you and Tiff some information too. But I think what I'm hearing, which is beautiful, is that a lot of different.
Ooh, Tip, we're losing you.
People, including us, are really trying to doing what we're doing, and there's other pieces too. So I'll be giving you guys some information on some other things too for us to all join, because getting back to the community and getting back into loving each other is so important.
Yep. Yes. Absolutely.
And you know, interesting, Tiff, that you bring that up when I know when the committee down at Dansbury saw the event, they were so grateful that people are stepping up all over the place to bring the community together, to do events together, to celebrate being a human being, being loving, caring, for each
Yes.
other. So
Yep.
yeah, we
Yes.
need to get back to that basic
Back
thing.
to the basics. Back
Yep.
to the
Back to
basics.
the
Exactly. Back to the basics. The common element of human, right?
Yes.
So we're looking
Back to the
forward to that. So
basics.
more information to come 11 to 7. Once again, August 27th. It is a Saturday at Dansbury Park in East Stroudsburg. Save the date. We'll get more information to everybody over the coming weeks. So let's talk about today. When we talk about spring forward, we also got to talk about some of the things that get us to a point of acceptance and removal. I think that, today's topic is shutting the revolving door. Apology accepted, access denied. We see this all over the internet, right? Everybody's throwing that out there. But do we really necessarily understand what that means for each of
Mm,
us and as a whole from a society standpoint? And, there's things that we accept, there's things that we, put the X on, we don't want, to accept. But, when we talk about apology accepted, access denied, let's talk quickly about what does a nurturing, acceptable relationship look like? And we're talking real relationships. What is acceptable for you when we talk about what we accept as individuals? Let's kind of describe what acceptance is.
I think
So who wants
first
to get it
thing,
started? Do we
No,
want
I was.
to go ahead?
No, I'm not sure if I'm frozen or not, but
You're good now.
I'm good. Okay. What's an acceptable relationship? Oh, I remember my daughter Zyla. I remember us being in her second grade class, so she might have been 6 at the time, and her teacher said to her, "Well, what is a friend?" In front of us, and she said, "Someone who accepts you for exactly who you are."
Mm.
And I sat there, and I had to take a little bit of a look at this little, and she was tiny then. She's a size 0 now, but she was less than that then. And I looked at this little face and I was like, wow, the clarity and the focus on that. And it was so free for her. And it was such a
mhm.
clean, pure space. And somehow along our journey in life, we start giving that some subcategories,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where it's like, you accepted that, you did this, you
Mm.
allowed this person to do this to you, you allow someone to show up in your life this way, you're still in this relationship, this is still your BFF, this is still the person that you give all this intimate information to. So, I just go back to Zyla. I just, I would just like I said, I looked at that little face like, oh shoot, this is
Yeah.
some profound
Yeah.
babies coming out of this woman here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at what age does that purity become impure, right? What age does that happen? Is it the surroundings? Is it what they act? Kids are sponges, right? Is it the crowd they hang around with? Is it what is it, Doris? I mean, you're really the expert on a lot of these relationship things. What do you think?
I think that children have not been tainted yet. So they see
Mm.
things differently. They're tainted, so everything is fresh and it's pure. So I think that's where it
Mm.
comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
as they begin to experience likes and they start us, they think what's first. The thing about it
That's
is
an
when we have to
Oh
interesting.
wow, yeah,
That's an
we have to
interesting.
we have to
Go ahead,
love
Doris, because
people.
that's an interesting, profound statement.
yeah.
We have to love people where they are. It doesn't mean that they can come in. You love them where they are. My mother always said to me when I would go to her with advice, I say, what should I do? And she would just say, well, if you know the snake bites, why you keep letting them in your house? And so you have to consider that, but you still love them where they are.
Where they are.
Wow.
So, Jane, you said something that actually, in between you and Doris, I said, "Oh my God," and obviously Tiffany Rowe bringing up from her daughter, and coming to the table and saying, again, you're right. Children are not tainted, right? They come into this world with an open eyes, open, giving, and receiving. They receive what we give to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Jane, I think it's hard maybe to pinpoint, I think, exactly when that taintness comes into effect. Because when we think about family relationships, and maybe we'll dive into that as far as family relationship is concerned, there are scenarios that occur in our family relationships, whether it be parents or uncles or siblings or things of that nature. What are some of those things? Because again, they're family, right? We're always told, those are your family. That's your blood.
No matter what. No
No
matter
matter
what.
what, that's your blood. I mean, I know me from
Bad
Italian background.
advice.
Like we accept, we are accepting, right? Like
Yeah.
it's although
Yes.
at some times we have to be like, look, now through life you learn there's a difference there, right? Of what you accept. So, what are your thoughts as far as like the family relationships are concerned? Where does it go to a point of, hey, I'm done accepting, and I have to just, stop that from occurring because we need to make sure that we're healthy, because this lends into mental abuse,
Right.
physical abuse, emotional abuse,
Depression. Yeah.
depression,
Yep.
things of that nature. So,
Yep.
what are your thoughts around that as far as family relationships are concerned and acceptance of that?
I think I really,
And
I can't even
everybody
say I
has,
think. I know from just my journey, knowing your love language that works for you. Um, Again, going back to Zyla, accepting someone for exactly who they are, that goes both ways.
Mm,
So I have to know what my vibration is, what feels good, what keeps me like here. Like you see me
mm,
drinking, I'm telling you all day, this is decaf. I'm not on caffeine. So this is all the time. So I need someone that balance that off, where I'm feeling always feeling great. Not saying that we don't go through things, but
mhm,
always feeling accepted, always feeling cared for, always feeling protected.
mm,
So those pieces there, and when that's not present in a relationship, when you're around certain people that kind of try to always do a little dig, now
mm,
then you have to start to not necessarily. That don't mean they're horrible people. That just for me means it doesn't work for me. Doesn't
mm,
work for what I'm trying to do at this particular, maybe even at this particular time in my life, because maybe I accepted some other stuff for this minute. Maybe when I was in my gossip pool too, I was good with all the chaos and all of that. And as I started shifting or moving around, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not serving me. Actually, that brings me into the space that's not growing, that's not
mm,
pushing, that's not satisfying. I'm not satisfied at the spot anymore. So my love language might have shifted, but when you know what feels good to you, then you can say, okay, I can't accept this. And
mm,
if there's a long enough relationship or enough of a loving relationship, then you should be able to go into that conversation. Family definitely is rough because you always want to see them at the Thanksgiving dinner.
yep,
You know what I'm
yep,
saying? But you might have to say, look, this is what's this piece here. I wasn't feeling this conversation. You know, I'm not little Tiffany anymore. Maybe that might be a point that you could just pat in the head and shoo me away. Um, I expect this in my life, and if I don't, and we in a family situation,
mm,
and I'm not gonna leave because I got some pettiness in me still, I'm gonna come back with the clap back. You're gonna be very hurt. You're gonna be very hurt by the conversations that's gonna happen. So I think we need to tweak this,
mhm, mhm,
massage this in
yep,
love, massage this in
mhm.
love, and then we can scooch forward.
That's a good point. And when we think of children, because you learned through your life and we change and we evolve, right? as
Mhm.
individuals. So there's things that we may have accepted as children that we don't accept now because of what we learned and how it felt to us. I think, again, going back to children, I think the concerning thing for children is that in a lot of cases, to the lens that they have, in some cases, maybe in most cases, they don't even understand what's acceptable or what's okay,
Hmm.
right? That's why we have the issues we have with abuse, right? And neglect, things of that nature. So maybe
Mm.
it's educating parents and families on what children are feeling or sensing and what's right or wrong, in those type of relationships. Doris, I know you have 8 children, correct?
You have seven.
7 children, 7 children.
Yes.
Um, lucky 7. We got to play that. With that said,
I love you.
Thank you.
with that said,
See, and I love
oh,
her.
we're losing.
I love her.
Thank you.
That's all I can say.
With that said, with 7 children, there's obviously conversations that you have with your children, just like Tiffany Rowe with hers and Jane with hers. Conversations about what's acceptable and what isn't. What are some of those conversations like?
No, no, it's kind of weird because we get along, but I know what each child is capable of. I know where they're coming from, and sometimes I'm careful with what I say, but I feel
Mm.
like it's in presentation because I'm mild mannered and soft spoken. I can communicate to them more easily than being hostile and loud. So I can just say what it is that I need to say, not only to them, but to anybody. Like I said, it's in presentation. So we don't have a perfect relationship. They do things that I don't like. I do things that they don't like. But we're not over here going crazy. So we have cliques also. We have two that may get along, get to better than these two. But when it all comes together, that's what we do. We are family. And we're a little different because, like I said in the last time I was here, we grew up together. And I believe that I have that mindset because I don't care how old you get, as long as you're not dead, you're all going to learn something. And so
Mm,
Right.
that's how it is for all of
Yes.
us.
mm, that's
Can
a
I
good.
say? Can I say something about Doris,
Absolutely.
who has 7 children and this most beautiful face?
Thank you.
I think I would have all kind of frown lines and problems. You are absolutely stunning. Blessings to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'll be 50 on Friday.
Ooh, ooh, oh
Ooh,
wow, birthday coming
happy
up.
Like
birthday.
Happy early
you just
birthday.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
said,
Happy birthday.
position.
Thank you.
I
Absolutely. Happy early birthday, Doris.
Thank you. Your age
Beautiful,
is
beautiful,
11.
absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I
Um,
just and doing your thing. Happy early birthday. I just because I know what it takes and yeah, lessons, lessons.
Thank
Doing
you.
your thing. Got your business. Doing. This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of people you need in your life.
mm,
You need this kind of frequency. You need this type of energy. You need this type of balance. You need someone that has something that they can, when they actually have something to say, it's coming from a place of experience. It's coming from a place of knowledge, um, and a journey. And
yep.
so, God bless you. God bless you.
Thank
There's a
you.
lot of wisdom there in the growth that you've had with your children. So, again, as far as behaviors and love languages, like Tiffany Rose said, and how each individual child has a different way of approaching life and viewing things in life and the relationships that they have. Someone was actually asking how old your oldest and how old is your youngest. What's the span in
The
age range
oldest
there?
one, the oldest one is 29,
Mhm.
and my little oops is 11.
Oops, I love.
Oops.
We know what that means. We know
Oh
what
my
that
God.
means.
That's funny.
Blessings to you, Doris. Blessings.
But
Um,
even in relationships with our children, there still has to be, and there are some points as they grow and as we grow
mhm,
that you do deny access
mm,
because it can become overwhelming. It can become dysfunctional for you and for them. And sometimes in relationships with your children, with your family, you have to take a step back. I believe, in a
Well,
lot of different relationships that you have, be it your siblings, your spouse, your children, um, your neighbor, whatever. There needs sometimes you need to take a time out, right?
yeah,
Step
we do.
back and look
So,
at
and
it.
I think we're missing Tiffany Rule. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a fact.
We can hear you now. You were
Okay.
going in and
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
I had posted, I don't know if it was a week or two ago, just something in reference to that. Like, it doesn't mean I don't love you because,
Oh, we're going in and out.
like, testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Am I here? I'll come back. Can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Yeah, we can't. You're going in and out, Tiff. So
Okay.
let me just let me just quickly say this, and as you're in a better area, just tune in and just let us know you're here, so we can tell you if
Hmm.
we can hear you or not. Um, Behaviors. Not even too long ago, and I think Tiffany Rowe, you were going to the point of love, and the human element of love, and some of the things that um, we talk about. We see all human behavior. This is actually was a quote by Marianne Williamson, and it might lend to what you might have been saying, Tiffany Rowe. See all human behavior as one of two things: either love or a call for love. When
Okay.
there's hurt and pain, when there's when there's hurt and pain, when there's some type of level of destruction occurring in the family environment or any relationship for that matter, because you can have elements of abuse in everything, right? It's not just family relationships.
Right.
Abuse carries on in your social environments. It carries on how you act in your family relationship. That transcends throughout all your relationships. The question is what do I want to say? How do you actually show it? Are you being honest with how you're portraying yourself? But, when we see human relationships and the behaviors, you've got that element of love and you've got that element of people who are hurt and in pain and dealing with traumas and how they react to situations. And that is, in essence, a call for love. But with that said, does that necessarily mean that you accept the behavior and, or do you say, hey, I love you? You got to get help. And until that happens, and until there's some healing, I got to kind of, I got to stop the train. I can't keep
Right.
going forward with you.
Yeah.
What are
Right.
your thoughts on that?
Do
I
you
have no
guys hear me?
experience.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, cool, cool.
I have
Go
no
Go
ahead,
ahead,
experience
Doris.
with
I'm
Oh,
that.
Doris.
no, mother of 7 goes first, please.
I have
Go.
coming.
I have
Gee,
no
you got this.
experience with that. I have no experience. I've seen it where I have well, she's deceased now, half sister, where she was doing things that my mother did not accept. So she kind of loved her from a distance. But with my
Mm,
children, so far so good. I don't know what's going to happen later, but no, I'm not loving anybody from a distance, and nobody's
Mm,
done anything outrageous at this point. So
yeah. Yeah.
my
Now,
children are
Doris,
yeah.
what would you consider outrageous, though, Doris? I'm just curious.
going completely against the family and the values of what I've
Mm,
instilled in them. If they go completely against that, one example that just kind of sticks out to me is being addicted to drugs or being
mm,
abusive. That would go against what they know and what I've taught them. And you
Right.
can't
mm.
Right.
control anybody's path, anybody's journey. But so far, so good for me. I cannot say anything about that.
Good. That's good.
Tiffany Rowe, I think you were gonna jump in with your perspective on that as
Yeah,
well.
can y'all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay. A lot of times we have a subconscious because of how we was brought up. So
Mm-hmm.
we have these again, our journey. So you're taught to sit on uncle's lap, even though you don't really want to sit on uncle's lap. All of the kookiness that,
Mm-hmm.
we be polite, especially the girls. Ooh, especially the girl
Yes.
children. We are taught to
Yes.
be nice. We're taught to be polite. We're taught to mind our manners. We're taught to not have our elbows on the table. So all of these conscious food that has become our subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So when we need to block out the old paradigm, the old systems, the old ways of confusion that keep us in this box.
Mm.
Because that is why when you and we get a lot of women that talk to us on the sistership page, the network page. Please, guys, if I see you liking and sharing and looking at this now, check out the sistership. Please like and share. Invite people to our page, because we hear a lot of positivity. We have a lot of fun, but we're also sharing and being very transparent in a lot of ways. And a lot of us women going through some stuff. So get out of our that old way. And I would almost want to employ the mothers and the grandmothers of us and those out there to go back and apologize. Start changing that narrative in your child, your 60-year-old child, your 50-year-old child, your 40-year-old child, your 20-year-old child. Start going back and saying, I really, I'm not, it's Sunday, so I ain't gonna curse. I really messed up. I really messed up in some areas because this is what I thought was right. I thought beating
Mm.
the crap out of you was right. So now you in a
Mm.
relationship getting beat the crap out of. I
Yes.
thought talking to you like this and calling you the N word and doing whatever I was doing. I had you when I was 16, so I didn't know. I was still hanging out too, and so you saw things maybe you shouldn't have seen, or you thought things that was okay, and it's not. And I have to come back and I want to apologize to you. You're grown, but now, because I realized there's some stuff. Ooh,
Yes.
woo, there was some stuff I was wrong about, and that might be the switch
Yeah.
to say, oh my God, as a young girl, oh my God, as a middle-aged man, I've been doing
Mm.
this wrong because I didn't realize that subconscious piece, that food that I was fed all those years
Yeah.
became my true narrative.
Yeah.
And now I'm accepting all this madness into my world. And I'm
Mm.
giving off so much chaos into somebody else's world.
Mm. I love
I've
the
said
fact that you said that. Doris, go ahead because I'm gonna have a comment for that, but Doris, go ahead.
I don't think I've given an apology, but the way I've said it is I did the best that I could with the tools
Mm.
that I had. That's my
Mm-hmm.
way of, I guess, in an apology. I mean, I know more now, but at the time, I did the best that I could with what
Mm.
I had. And so I guess that's
Mm.
my apology in a sense.
And you actually said exactly the experience that I had. I don't have children. I have 11 nieces and nephews. God bless. Stair steps. But when I think about my upbringing and how my dad was, because he was very strict, Italian, military, blah, 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 blah. And later in life, as I was going and experiencing life and relationships and the challenges and the things that I accepted, one day he had to come to the table and apologize for how how he treated us because he realized it was not healthy, and he started learning himself that these things are not things that I want my daughters to accept of anybody else. So I think to your point, Doris, you said exactly how my father kind of came to the table and realization that, hey, I'm a 40-year-old girl now, like 30 plus 40-year-old. I'm going on 50 in a couple of years, but that's besides the point. But, it took everything for him. And I have to commend him because, and to your point, Tiffany Rowe, parents that are out here listening, go back and definitely, I agree with you, go back and apologize to your children for those who have done those things or thought those were acceptable things, because they might have gone through their own particular traumas and experiences that were acceptable or they thought were acceptable. So that was the toolkit they had, and they just
Mhm.
continued the same toolkit, right, without changing. And didn't realize
Right.
how, when they were hurt, that they're now also perpetuating the same narrative, continuing the same thing. So I love that. I love that because that's a healing moment right there. And I think it behooves any family member that knows that's hurtful for them to go back and apologize and say, hey, this is the toolkit I had. I can't change what happened, but we can do better. And I know that was wrong.
Yeah.
I love that.
We
And
I
can
love
do
that.
better. I want to quick say something to Stephia. Um,
Yes.
you say this sometimes. Say it. Well, I know it's your truth, but I also want you to know I see something different because I love you. Because you say I don't have children, but I have the nieces. I see when I think of children, I think rearing child, and
Yeah.
I see you rearing child a lot. I see how you love up on your nieces, your nephews, and I see
Hmm.
how you love up on children. Period.
Hmm.
And it could be the not the canal, but definitely the heart. So as far as I'm concerned, you are a mother because I see the mothering. I see how you love up
yeah,
on us. I see how you have loved
on
up on
us.
the
Yes.
leadership
Yeah.
in such
Yeah.
an amazing, 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 5-time amazing, 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 amazing way. So if anything, you birth a lot here. You bring a lot to the table wherever you go, wherever you sit. You bring a lot to the table. So I want to just say, you got kids. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. That's how I feel. So I
Hmm.
had to say that.
I appreciate you, Tiffany Rowe. And it's all in, again, it's all in, I guess that motherly instinct is in all of us, right? Regardless of whose children, whether we're bearing them or not. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um, so we talk about these family relationships. Now I feel like we have so much to learn in this space, and we're learning as well. I think some great things came out of going back to the family, going back to the parents, going back to the uncles, or the uncles going back to the children, or because again, we know it's not just the parents, it's also in how our whole family structure, our siblings, our
Your
sisters,
neighborhood. Your
it's
neighborhood.
your neighborhood, so we evolve into these social networks that we're
Mhm.
in, and we're part of specific social networks. um what are some of the things I laugh about Facebook, because it is to a certain degree, we can easily block people, right?
I don't
We
know
can
how.
easily
I don't know. I
Stop.
keep
we'll
telling
teach it. We'll
people
teach it.
I don't know how to
We
do
can
this.
we can easily block people. We can easily unfollow. We can easily just not
Ignore,
accept
or you can
people
just
in
ignore.
our environment.
Ignore. Hmm.
Hit ignore, right? Just ignore. What
You can
are your
even
thoughts
mute
on as
somebody.
far as social media aspect, Doris? Because honey, you and your stuff that you post on social media,
I
I'm
knew
telling
you
you,
was gonna
we
go
get a
there.
we get some energy and some laughter out of everything she puts out there, and you really, I mean, you keep it real. I mean,
Yeah.
there's real things that are coming out of Doris. When every time I see things, I'm thinking about, oh my God, the experience I may have had, or people that I know have had. What are your thoughts about the whole social aspect, the social media, and our social environments of acceptance or denying, access?
I think that social media has made it possible for us to be whoever it is that we want you to see. And so it's a mask for a lot of people. I can be whoever I want to be. You're going to see me at my
Mm.
best when I'm on
Mhm.
Facebook or Instagram. I'm not going to get on there with my sleepers on and looking like a fool. And so I
Look,
think
Tammy
that
Roman gets on with her bonnet and she making a million. Maybe we need to maybe
yeah,
we need to come a little less filtered.
I guess she's doing very good. But she's also been doing, she's been around for a really long time. So she didn't come out doing that. I first became familiar with her I think it was the first season of The Real World, when The Real World
Second,
was
yeah, the
really
second
good.
season. No, that was my chick.
Yes,
That
yes.
was my chick. Yeah, 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 yeah. She married Kenny Anderson. He was from around the way.
Oh, okay.
So I
So
see somebody posting here, and actually just took my eyes off for a moment here because it really was a good. And Mama C, that's the look. You know, Mama C is going to drop some stuff. So I got
Yes.
to say this. Sometimes what is more important is how we interact when communicating with one another. Our tone of voice, the words we use, our body language all communicate a message. Man,
because you
Woo!
does
can't
that.
get that. You can't
Does
get
that.
that through social media. You cannot get that. So
Right.
I think
Yeah.
even with social media paired with the pandemic, we've gotten so far away from true communication. Me myself, I don't even like talking on the phone. And when I was younger, my mother used to always put me on punishment for the phone because that was my weakness. I would be on the phone for
Right.
8 hours. But now I've
Yeah.
gotten so far
Yeah.
away from, yes, we can communicate, not call me or send me a message and tell me what time you're going to call or text message me whatever it is that you need. So social media has deprogrammed us. Seriously, it has.
Mm,
It's not like it was when I was younger. There was a house phone, and there's a somebody's on the other
Yes.
line, or
Yeah.
she's not home right now. She's off doing whatever. But now we have our phone just glued to our hip. These Apple
mm-hmm,
Watches or social media. I can hurry up and
mm-hmm.
get on there on my phone and see what's going on. So it's different. It's really different.
Yeah.
I
So
mean
it's
the programming. We
yeah.
and we've said that a couple of times today. Um, Again, the gram, the program. So we are allowing each and every entity to be part of our experience, and then we take that experience and make it part of our reality, and then we take that reality and say that's who we are.
Mm,
Uh, the what is necessary is everything in balance, and I don't think. See, for me, I was, I grew up with somebody all in your face. So anything again, I go back to who I am. I know I'm the real estate woman. You see this, you see all of the beautiful things, you see the growth, and I'm so thankful for the growth. I'm still hood though. So first and foremost, I'm used to that conflict being right in front of my face. That's how
mm,
I grew up. If it's conflict, I'm gonna hit it head on. I'm gonna be nose to nose with all kind of conflict. There is no room in my. I don't even understand having conflict on social. I don't even understand it because there's nothing you can type. You can't win. Like I'm not. I mean, word for word, you're not gonna kill me. So to me, I've had hands on me. I've had hands on someone else. Not promoting fighting people. I'm not. This is what I came from. But when you allow somebody I don't understand being on the screen. I had to learn to understand that because I have children that are now
mm,
connected to it at this level.
mm-hmm,
To me, this isn't life or death. But
mm.
for many, it feels like life or death.
Yes.
Hmm.
So if you're not comfortable, two things. If you're not comfortable with what's getting thrown back at you, you either got to look at what's being thrown and like you said, press block, delete, ignore, or you might have to look at what you're putting out there
Mm,
that is
I look
allowing
at
people to feel the privilege in your life to respond to you in such negative fashions,
mm.
especially if it holds something to you.
Wow.
with me, I look at where it's coming from. With dear ex-boyfriend slash girlfriend, I have been pulled to the sidebar so many times by the members who eventually I had to get rid of. Every now and then I keep somebody because I know that they're hurting and they're just projecting. But I've been
Mm,
Okay.
called. For me, I don't care who says what. It also depends on who it's coming from. What are they going through? Why are they doing this? To me, I don't care. I've been called a lesbian on Dear X. I've been called a handsome female. I've been called Wendy Williams. Thank you for that, though. Except for the drugs and related stuff.
right.
It's a,
Right.
it's a compliment. I've been called the N word.
Mm,
Just all kinds of stuff, and I never, even though I'm very sensitive, but I look at where it's coming from, and I look at what I'm doing. If I really cared about that, I wouldn't have made dear ex boyfriend slash girlfriend because that's a dangerous group. In a
yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It
You have
is.
to have tough skin to be in there. You all may not hear what's being said, You may not even see it, but I get it all. I get guys on there saying that I'm bitter, that I'm jaded, and I have to let them know, look, this is not a support group. If you want support, go get a better bra. We're over here laughing and having fun. And that's what it's all about. So I really don't care what somebody says to me on social media without even
Right.
blocking or deleting.
Right.
I
Yeah.
pull people to the side sometimes. I say, listen, you need a hug. What happened? And by the time I get through saying that, they're laughing and everything is cool. It just went through a divorce. So she was angry. And by the time I broke down all those walls and had her laughing, she was able to tell me what was really going on. So my skin is,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mhm.
sensitive and shy. My skin is pretty tough. I came from a large family, 4 sisters and brothers. And I'm the middle child, the troubled child. So it's really nothing. You have to shoot
Yeah.
me.
I mean,
You
no,
have to shoot me or
can.
stab me. Anything other than that, what? Who
It's not
cares?
even that important. Everything else
No.
is not that important. I
And I
And
think
think
now I'm
that
going to get
too,
to the back of the line.
right. I think though, when you are, and I feel like this space here, um, we don't come from a malice point. I'm not saying we're not human. I'm not saying that,
mm,
you know, we all have our journeys and we're all, and I don't take it as a cliche saying we're all works in progress. You know what I mean? I don't say that with a cliche. I say that for real. Like we're all works in progress.
mm-hmm.
We're going to get stronger, we get better, and we get whatever more refined in some areas as we grow and we surround ourselves with people that bring that refinement into our lives. Um, but at the same time, you know, if you're going to be on a platform that can reach the world, you're going to say something that is going to
Mm-hmm.
offend someone at some
Mm-hmm.
time. You can say God is good,
Yep.
and if someone doesn't believe in God, then they're mad.
Right.
I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but so I say for me, things I don't apologize say here, but I will state if someone can show me how with something
Oh, Row, Tiffany Rowe, we got
that broke me again, daggone it, that's bad.
yeah, we lost
Tell
you
me when you
again.
see me.
See you now.
Yep.
Yes, okay. So I say I don't come from a place of malice ever. Now that I can tell you is never malice. It's never malice. 99.9% is not malice. I'm still human. I might sometimes I might slip a petty. I really am working on not doing that.
It's all about intent.
It's all about intent.
It's all about
It's
intent.
all about intent.
And not even too long ago, and many years ago, somebody always told me, I actually probably was even an old manager, and my husband says it all the time. It's all about positive intent. You got to understand where people are coming from. And, I will say this because if you're going to come on my page with some drama, craziness, or whatever, disrespect, and I say that, I don't have no problem saying you're not on my friends list. That's just how I operate because I don't need that craziness in my life. There's been some
Yep.
people that have said some pretty nasty things that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not about that. This is my page. You could say it on a social network somewhere else or whatever, but when it comes to my personal environment, that's not what I accept. And I'm
Right.
okay with that. I can accept what I want to accept on my own social page. But I also feel that social media has allowed people an opportunity, to your point, to take advantage of whatever hurt and pain they're dealing with. They're throwing it out there. And I think I'm hearing that message, even with you, Tiffany Rowe and Doris, about, people are very comfortable to just say anything. Doesn't matter what it is, what they're feeling
Right.
at the moment. It's an immediate reaction to things, or things that they're dealing with, traumas or hurts or pains or whatever the case may be. It's an immediate reaction because social networking is an immediate, you know, communication path, right?
Yes.
We don't really sometimes think. We write quicker than we think sometimes. And that, we do. Sometimes we write quicker than we think. We don't think about what we say. We just throw it out there, and all of a sudden, you can't take that back. Once it's
Can't
out
take
there,
it back. But
It's
I'm gonna say this though: most people that say things that are not pleasant,
mm-hmm.
it's because they really don't have access to you. They don't have access to me. But this is the way they can. Like you're not gonna walk up to me with this madness.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
it's just not ever gonna. I'm letting you. It's just never gonna happen. It's just
You got that
never gonna
right.
happen. And then you're not gonna. You don't know. You know where I live. You don't. You know. I mean, you can go to different offices. You're gonna be walking on properties I own
Mm-hmm.
to be angry. Okay. Um, but you're not really going to do it because then
Yeah.
you're hiding behind the screen, you're hiding behind your phone to do this, and that type of access must be denied.
Yes.
It not
Yeah.
even should be denied.
Yes.
It must be denied. Yeah, y'all got to teach me how to do that because I really
Yeah.
don't know. Um,
I could teach a class. I could teach a class.
class, girl,
We got to teach
class.
classes on denying access to our social network
Yes.
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Denying that because a lot of times, and it's you know what, and we're going. I went into an extreme. I'm gonna say we. This is me. I'm not gonna be French right now. Say we. I would also say, hold this. Tell me about this, ladies. You out here creating content. You out here building your brand and your business, and people are just copying and pasting your concepts for their growth.
Mm.
How do y'all feel about that?
Mm.
What about
Mm.
that access denial?
You know,
That's hey.
what I think about it is you can still might.
Because I think we're growing. Not that I don't mind, you know, I don't mind a share. I don't mind a share. I don't mind you seeing something, and you know that whenever you see something, you only get in the middle. It's still more stuff up in this brain. There's still more content. There's still more quality. There's still more growth. There's still more pieces. Yes, choice is a superpower. There's still so much superpower. Thank you, Mama C, for the superpower. There's so much more superpower that's inside. So it's like you know, the Matrix 1 and 2 was amazing, but then they lost the true writer, and then all of a sudden it's like, what are we
Mm.
watching? What happened to the Terminator?
Mm.
We lost the writer. Come,
Mm.
you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 20. The meat's not the same. So how do we deal with that piece? And then I want to
Mm.
talk, if we can, about being in business.
We definitely need to talk about business relationships because that's
And
a
But
big
Doris, I think Doris wanted to say something
right.
though
Right.
in regard to that.
I don't.
Go ahead,
It
Doris.
escaped me. I don't know. It escaped me. I was listening, and
He's like, it'll come back. Doris will come back.
it'll come back.
Yeah.
But going back to again these and and I think from to your point, Tiffany Rowe, with the muse and sharing what people share and whatever have you, and they're expressing. I think a lot of that also is what they can't. Not everybody is creative. Okay, let's just be what it is. Not everybody knows how to convey what they want to convey.
Okay, great.
And I think a lot of that again stems back from just maybe not feeling comfortable in their thoughts and how they feel to be able to articulate in the manner that they want to articulate, and maybe that's what it is. But if we're just, again, it goes back to this positive intent, right? What is the intent of what they're trying to do? And that, I think, is where you're going,
Yeah,
because if it's not from a place of positive intent, then those are the individuals that need to have an access denied, you know?
Right. Right.
But and I agree with that, because I think that's another piece of it. But speaking of business relationships, and I think this is another area of this whole, how do you operate in business relationships, and where do we fall into this whole door of accepting certain things in business partnerships or business relationships? And now you're talking another level, because now you're talking about an entity that you're working in. All right, it's not a family, it's not a, maybe there is a personal relationship there or not, I don't know. But when you're in business, there's a contractual agreement to work together, right? And at
Yeah.
that point, the question is, how do you approach situations where you have to finally say, I can't continue? What does that mean about, what do you accept in those particular business relationships? And at what point do you say we cannot operate in this environment as business partners?
I would, this to me, and again, maybe, again, I've been self-employed since the age of 10.
Mm,
Um, I don't even, I honestly, maybe I get in trouble with this with my family. It's hard for me to separate that. To me, my
mm,
business is my family.
okay.
It is, it's been my survival. I come
Mhm,
from a lot of different moving parts when it comes to family. So I have my family that I have created along the way, my entire life. And a lot of that has been people that I always try to make money with my family. I always try to make whoever I encounter, my concept is always I want to see them leave this situation stronger. And because my gift, and it is, I have, it is one of my gifts, is financial. That's one of the gifts. I'm creative, but I also look at somebody and say, oh, if you did this, I think you could, this might help you, help you. Because I want us all to vacation together. I want us all to drink what we want to drink together, eat what we want to eat together. So for me, family is business and business is family. And I really, in my heart, like my agents will tell you, like I love them. Like what you need, what's wrong? What do you, what, how can we support? How can I support you? And I don't think it's how I operate. So when I have to let family go, or business family go,
mm,
it is it. I always feel that I have to have the right to do so, and which means that I had to have given them what I was supposed, my thing, my gift. I had to give them tools. I had to give them energy. I had to give them a roadmap to success, and they just made a decision. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to choose to follow anything that she's saying. Then I realized that because again, I choose my family along the way. That's the only child piece, maybe. Brought up in a broken family piece, maybe. Not really knowing the grandmoms and all of that stuff, maybe. So whatever all that is, that my PTSD or loving way of journeying this planet, I put them together. And when I let you go, I know it was the right move for the collective, because who I bring close to me require me. That's what I feel for myself. There is a
mm,
requirement from me to do the right thing for them. So I have to look at the whole picture. And if something's missing or something's really off in that picture, I am so okay with saying goodbye. I am so okay with saying goodbye, because I know I gave you my pit,
mm.
because that's truly.
Yeah. So there's the whole lesson in that, and accepting. So we talk about accepting people for where they are, right? Because there are going to be people in your life, and that is not, it just doesn't meet you where you are, or where you want them to be, or how they can grow with you, or whatever have you. At that point, so my understanding is, at that point you're like, look, this is not working for us. So although I love you, blessings, I have to separate myself from that relationship, because
Yeah.
it's no longer working for the both of us. Because there's, who knows, it could be on both sides of the fence. It could be one side who, every circumstance is different. And that's the reality sometimes in a lot of business relationships, is that
Yes.
you do come across situations as you evolve and grow, that things change. People
Things change.
change, patterns change, circumstances change.
And
Um,
and I want to add something. I want to say for real, there is a mourning that happens. Like,
Mm.
I'm not, I don't think any of us are, but I'm definitely not, because if it comes across from time to time, I'm not devil wears Prada. There is a mourning that takes place when you are part of my spirit and my soul and my heart.
Mm.
There is a mourning that really does take place. I go through a wake.
Yeah.
I got some separation issues, again,
Yep.
Yeah.
fatherless kids or whatever all of that stuff is.
Yep.
And I probably need to sit on somebody's couch and talk about it. Um, but there is a mourning that does take place when you have to deny access. When I have to hit you off of my affiliates page and take you off, there's a mourning that takes place. When I
Yeah.
have, now that one I do know how to do, because that you see what's important, right? Um, so no, and that's real. Like, because there's this thing called proprietary information. You guys in business know, like your
Oh
personal,
yeah.
that intimacy, that the secrets, the
Mm-hmm.
that little ingredient you never tell somebody about when you make
Right.
that mac and cheese, and every time they make it, it don't taste the same as yours. It's those little things, and you give people access to the people you give access to that stuff. I know my heart, man. I love you guys out there. Please, Sistership Network and all of our listeners, I love you. I know it hurts like heck. And I said heck because it's Sunday and it's 2 something. Um, I know it hurts when you have to either decline or not pick up the phone, block a call, that person that was your everyday phone call, or, at least twice a week phone call, and you have to stop making it. And then they try to seep back into your life. And you're like, am I ready for this conversation now? And if you're really not, if you're not strong enough, if you're not in a space where you can, you could not pick up the bottle. That, and again, treat it as such. People have real dilemmas with stuff. Be truthful to yourself. Know yourself. That guy, oh, that man, that business partner, that colleague. Just be so loving yourself so much. Put that armor of God or whatever you need. Put that armor around you and protect your soul, protect your spirit, protect your body, protect your mind, so that you can just heal. Because when you do let somebody go and they touched you, there is a healing.
Yeah.
Nobody is absent from that. There is
Yep.
a real healing that has to
Mm-hmm.
take place within. And I'm praying for you. I'm praying for myself to stay in this, stay covered. I'm praying for you guys to be covered and stay covered. Know who you are, know who you are. Because
Mm.
that is like so, oh my God, I just got, woo! It is
No,
so
hey,
important.
that's actually gets into this whole revolving door because, I
Woo!
think to what you were saying, Tiffany Rowe, is, at some point you're not ready to even have those type of dialogues, that type of dialogue. And it's anybody who's hurt you or you feel you have to separate from for whatever reasons. And that's that whole access denied. But is access denied long term? Is
Mm,
it forever? Right? And I think that's what sometimes when we throw this stuff out here, apology accepted, access denied, the question is access denied forever? When is it okay to bring those people back into your fold? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the way the relationship was, correct? It can
Well, it
be,
shouldn't be.
it
It
shouldn't
shouldn't
be.
be the way it was, right?
So let's talk about how you would bring those type of, what would it take for those people that you have denied access to after they've apologized, even if they haven't apologized, to bring them back into your fold? And how do you bring them in the way they were before, or is that changed? Is that whole dynamic changed?
I think
woo!
that both of us have grown. If we've parted for a while, because I don't know everything. I might have
Mhm.
denied them access or gave them the boot for something that was stupid. But I think that
Mm,
sometimes when you come back together, it's because somebody has grown. Both of you have grown. You can love each other from where you are. So I don't think that just because you deny somebody access one time, it has to be a permanent denial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who we have been friends for years, but there's always been this up and down where she would disappear and then she would come back, and she would disappear and she would come back, and I would always welcome her
Mm-hmm.
until they say even a fool gets tired, and so this fool got tired, and so now I can speak to her in passing, but maybe she might have had a problem with me that I didn't know about, and she probably still does. But I think that you can let somebody come back in. Sometimes you have to use your common sense to know if it's
Mm-hmm.
safe for you emotionally or whatever the case might be mentally. The
Mm-hmm.
physical, they can come back, but the emotional and the mental, if it's safe for you, then that's fine. But people have to grow. They have to grow. And if they have not grown, then there's no point in even getting back into that.
Right. Right.
That's a good
You know,
point. Growth.
It's a
Go
very
ahead,
good
Tiffany
point.
Rowe.
God is so good and merciful. So I want to, in reference to that revolving door, um, I'm sure if everybody has been on social media over the past 2 days, we have seen a lot of.
Oh, she's going in and out again. We'll get her back on. We'll get her back on.
SIPs, RIPs for Sister Tracy battle. You hear me?
I think we got you back, Rowe, Tiffany Rowe. Okay, we'll get her back on. Um, so let's talk about love relationships, because we talked about the social network, we talked about our business relationships. Again, everything stems from one common element, right? And that's in how you are affected by the individual who is in your life and what they do to you, whether they intentionally do it or not, and allowing them back in. If, again, and I love the fact that you said growth, Doris, because when we think about when we've been hurt, and it goes back to what Tiffany Rose said, is about, just the hurt and pain that you dealt with, and the growth that you need. Mama C had put something about anger. We hold on to anger. We hold on to resentment. It's hard for us sometimes when people apologize to be trusting enough to allow them to say, okay, maybe they have changed, right? And that's where that revolving door comes into effect. We may feel that we're just either not ready, or some of us easily allow people back in because what they tell us we think might be true, because again, we are thinking that we trust them enough to allow them to come back in. Tiffany Roy, I think you're back in.
Am I
And
back on?
yeah, you were talking about the revolving door, and I was just kind of getting into that
Yeah,
space. So
I was sharing, we just lost Tracy Braxton over the weekend.
yes. Hmm.
And rest in peace, sleep in power, my sister in music, in reality TV, and acting, mother, daughter. But more than that, she was a sister who was in business with her family. And if
Mm,
you followed the show, you noticed that there was a time where her and the entire family fell out.
yeah.
They fell out. Her and Tamar were going back and forth with a lot. The husbands was arguing over just business and family and things like that. She was supposed to open for Tamar. This happened, that happened. All of these moving parts. And this is the baby sister and the middle sister going at it for years. And a year ago, that family found out. We didn't have to know. It wasn't on our social media. It
Right.
wasn't in our business. But a year ago, that family found out that their sister was at a terminal state in cancer.
Mm,
So you talking about a revolving door. You talking about people that had to let crap go by the
go.
wayside. Let problematic problems go by the wayside and
Yes.
bring love. As you said, move in love. You said that so many times. You said that's what you and your husband practice and y'all meditate on. Move in love. So they had to move in love, and the blessing of it's messed up to get that conversation that your time is like, here's your dates, Here's what the dates look like in your life. Because we know
Mm.
our birth date, but we don't know our death date. But when somebody comes and tells you your death date, what it
Yep.
looks like, oh my God. Oh my
Yep.
God. So
Yep.
these people had found out their sister, their daughter, their mother, their wife, their child, her child had a limited amount of time left. You at least have the opportunity to try and heal wounds. So someone's transition, knowing they are of love, and their transition without them being able to be in your presence every day, you can feel healed by the mess that had been cultivated during that time. So if there is a person, and Doris had said, sometimes it's just stupid. Sometimes we just evolve. Sometimes we say something, we did something, somebody did this, somebody did that. But the totality of this relationship is so much bigger than this problem.
Yes.
That door, I don't know if it should be revolving or not, but I know that we need to heal in love. We need to move in love. We need to move in care.
Yeah.
And those times is when I feel that we're going to make the right decision. Ego edging God out is not part of you should not have that as part of the analogy in your decision making.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a part of your spirit, your spirit as a whole, your movement as a whole, to decide, okay, I had a friend that I did not accept his apology. Did not accept his apology, even though in my mind I did, but I was trying to stick it to him. I think I spoke about this on one of the shows before. I'm not going to go too deep, deep, deep. But as he got off the phone with his apology to me, he stepped out of the phone booth. That's how long ago this was, and this never left me. He stepped out of the phone booth and got hit by a car and died.
Oh my God.
And
Mm.
I said I didn't accept his apology at that point. Even though I did, I was sticking it to him because that was the petty. So again, ego edging God out, letting pieces of the flesh dictate your movement. Now, if somebody kicked you in your behind, there's no revolving. If you don't let that be
Right.
the revolving door,
Right.
don't let that be the
Right.
revolving door,
Right.
because you can just keep getting your face punched into that revolving door.
Mhm.
So you gotta look. I think someone said, I think it was you, Stefan. You gotta look at your story.
Yeah.
And what role did you play in the chaos?
Mm-hmm. Self-reflection.
Mm.
Self-reflection. That you led right into that. Self-reflection, accepting who you are and your circumstances and understanding how that plays out in that relationship, right? So let's talk about that, because there is an element there of you, and it takes two people, right? It's a two-person relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't accept others, but yet we accept what others do, but we accept what we do. And it's the same exact thing that's been done. So where is the accountability in that piece of it? How do we manage that scenario of self-reflection? And to your point, Tiffany Rowan, I was thinking about this when you spoke about, your friend, walking out of the phone booth and then got hit by a car. The other thing is, why do we always wait till we hear of somebody is about to pass or has a disease and whatever have you, before we sit and have a conversation, or say we haven't, maybe we don't even have that conversation. We just love on them because they don't have much time left, right? But why does it take that to happen for us to then want to love on them? As you
Well, I mean, I see a lot of things as I get older. Like, we always make time to go to the funeral.
Whew.
Yes, yes.
We never make time to plan a picnic in the backyard and invite everybody. But
Mm,
everybody takes off from work. Everybody makes sure they're there for the viewing, for the funeral,
yep.
for the repast. We always make time for that. Why do you suppose that is? Is that for you? Or is
Mm.
that for show? Is it for them? Because they're
Yes.
dead. How do they know?
Like
Zyla,
Tiffany Rowe always says, give them their flowers today, right?
That's right.
Exactly right.
Zyla always kills me with, if somebody dies, right? When they die, and then she says, they got like 100,000 more followers. They're never gonna post again. I don't understand why you get 100,000 more followers when you're dead. And it's real. Spicy said it. It's totally for you. It's
Yeah.
totally for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so is the forgiveness and then
Mhm.
denial, the access
Ooh.
denial. And I truly do believe that because I have let people go in love in my life, friends, family, business partners, whomever. I've let them go in love and know that there is no boundary I can set for them. You know this inside of you. And I wish them the best. I wish them money and happiness and whatever it is they feel um, is what they need to be happy,
Mm. I
right?
I
do.
want to add. I want to add something to that. Letting go and love. Thank you for those words, Jane. Letting go and love. And I want to take it even another step, if I may, in
Yeah.
reference to us as women,
Yep.
as women and wisdom. Letting go and love, and give them the lesson
Mm.
on why that happened. Give them the lesson. I don't need you to fix us.
Mm.
But if I'm letting go in love, I want to share with you why.
Mm.
But you
So
know what?
maybe you can move better, maybe not, but I would be remiss in my spirit and who in the goddess that I am and the goddess that you guys all of us are. I would be remiss in the intellect that we are, the wisdom that we bring. I'd be remiss not to share with you. I'm letting go in love, and here is the lesson with that.
But they have to, half the time when you're finally letting them go, this is my own experience, and
Hmm.
you know that it's never going to be again, they don't hear the message.
That's okay though.
They
That's
Yeah.
don't.
okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not for me to decide what they're going to do with it.
Yes.
It's for me
Yes.
to say, I'm the wisdom, I'm the knowledge, I'm leaving you with love. So if
Mm.
I love up on anybody, when I this is my love language. So if I'm loving up on you, my love says here. My love says, here's your gift. Here's your parting gift from me. What you do with it? Shoot, it could be on the bottom of your bird cage. That's on
Mm.
you.
It's allowing you to free yourself from you to give yourself that level of freedom to say that I at least um, was able to give you that gift so I can get it off my shoulder because I don't want to have the burden of holding on to that, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a burden to hold on to if you've not closed. It's closure. It's pretty much
It's
closure.
it's closure.
And
And
how that
nothing is
person receives
forever.
it. Right. Right.
Nothing is
It's
forever except for energy. We're
yes.
saying these things, and you mentioned, why do we have to go? Why does it have to be this nail in the coffin kind of
Yeah.
conversation for us to come together? Honestly, if we take away anything, take away that nothing is forever. You're not going to be on a forever revolving door, because one of
Mm-hmm.
us is going to die sooner than the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be forever. That's why I say, if I let you go, and again, this isn't Rochdale Tiffany. This is not Rochdale Tiffany. This is growth. This is Christ, Buddha, Allah, this book, that book, sistership, going to Africa, going to St. Martin, going to the Bronx. All of these journeys that I've been through. That's this Tiffany speaking, and prayerfully, we have this, and it's recorded 2 years from now. We doing something else. Prayerfully, it's even more elevated. So
Mm.
this is just this Tiffany right here speaking, and I say, take it and hear it here. Here is that lesson. whether you, whatever you, and maybe 2 years from now, you pick up that lesson. God willing,
Right.
you're still on this planet, and you're like, dang, that
Right.
damn Tiffany said this to me, and it's starting again. I'm a
Yeah.
shift.
You're
But
absolutely
listen,
right.
I have to tell you this and share this with all of you. Not tell you, I'm sorry. Share it with you. When I
You can tell
do,
it, Dang. Tell it on the couch.
when I'm to a point of knowing that it's a one-sided relationship,
Mm,
I shift
mm.
from blaming to understanding to lovingly letting them go.
Uh-huh.
That's what I do. That's
And that's
exactly
a
what I
level,
do. And
that's a
I,
level of acceptance.
yeah, and I am then ready to move forward. Whatever they choose to do, that's on them,
Right.
because now I've shifted from blaming to understanding to lovingly letting them go,
Mm-hmm.
you
That's
know?
a level of acceptance of meeting them at where they are and either allowing them to continue forward with your relationship or to, just again, giving them, moving them on in love.
Right, right.
But there's a level of acceptance there. You finally accepted the person for who they are,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
it's not, and it might not be for you. And
yeah,
and that's okay. And that's what people need to understand is that it's okay to accept people for who they are. Stop changing people for who you want them to be
right, right,
because they may not be the person in your journey that you need in your journey, in your growth.
right,
Right now, there are many different seasons in a year, right? So everybody has a season. And it doesn't matter who it is. There's a season for everyone. Some people stay, some people go. They grow, you grow. There's just elements that constantly change, and it's okay to accept people for who they are in the moment that they're in. And if they grow with you, great. If they don't, it's okay. It's not it's not their journey. It's not
Mm.
their
right.
I have
You
a
you you
question.
know you said I know you have your one of your Stephire, one of your 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 mentors in the world, and who you follow, Maya Angelou,
yes.
and you saying it, so I'm gonna let you say the quote. when
I
people
the one again. Which one?
when people show you,
Who they are, believe them, right? I mean,
that's your girl.
that's my girl, So, and I agree. I mean, that's exact. I have to, I've had to learn that the hard way, and I get emotional about it because there's so many people that came through my life that, even today, people I built business relationships with, or socially, are engaged with them, and I've had to say to myself, Steph, it's okay to allow people to just be who they are and have their own journey. It's not always
Yes.
going to be a journey with you, and it's okay that it's not a journey with you because they are moving in a different direction, and I'm not angry. I'm not upset about it. I love them for who they are. I have to love them for who they are because God put them in my life for a reason and for a season. And it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. They have their own evolution in life, and we have to be accepting of that. And it doesn't mean that I'm not allowing them access to me unless they did something that was absolutely disrespectful or whatever have you, but it means that it's okay to just allow them to flourish on their own, and whatever they learned from me or I learned from them, I'm okay, hey, that's their growth as well, part of their growth as
Yeah.
well. We all teach one,
Limited,
teach one each one, right?
Right, right.
limited access.
What's
There's
that?
some people. There's
Limited
limited
access.
access.
Right, right. um so as we kind of start looking at kind of wrapping this down, I think.
Some people.
Oh, I think we're losing Tiffany again. Tifro, we're losing. You're in and out again. Go ahead. Now you're back again.
Okay, no, I'm saying, you know, this first of all was a great conversation, ladies. Great conversation. I see so many people in our chat. I see my mama in the chat. Mama,
Yes.
hi.
Yeah.
you know, moving in love, moving in
Hmm.
love. The revolving door. If someone needs to be revolving, again, limiting that access. Do you allow them in your house? Do you not allow them in your house? Do you meet them out at a public environment? Is it,
Hmm.
there's some of those relationships that need to stay very public, and there's some relationships that you can allow access privately, intimately.
Yes.
And but you have to know, and I started it. Started the top of the hour when we start with knowing you, and that's some deep work. That's some deep
Yep.
spiritual work. That's going deep into the waters. That's going deep
Hmm.
into prayer. That's going
Hmm.
deep into meditation. That's going deep into maybe watching every episode that we've ever had of the sistership and getting some information. That's going deep. That's reading some real stuff and knowing who you are, so that you know your boundaries. You know what you
Mm.
cannot allow. And sometimes it's a 40-year-old relationship. Sometimes it's a child.
Yes.
But you gotta know, and you gotta rejuvenate yourself. And that can't always happen by letting these loose ends that will ravel away, and you will be naked in the streets because that skirt completely unraveled with them
Yep.
loose ends. Sometimes you gotta put a knot. What is it when you get the hysterectomy? Cut and burn, not cut and burn, and that's
Yep.
okay.
Titles. Yep.
And that's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, this goes back to kind of that. I always say, rewind your life.
Ooh.
Rewind your life. And we always do that. We're always thinking about what we went through in life, right? All the things that we've, dealt with in life and where we were to where we are today. We change, other people change. Again, we're all on a journey walking to one, walking together, but in our own separate journeys. We're all still at the end point of life. We know what we want out of life, but we have to be accepting of everybody's separate journeys in life. The
Mm,
self-reflection piece, rewinding your life, self-reflecting on what it is that you are accepting of or not accepting of, and how do we deal with these relationships that we feel we have to cut off for our own purpose, for our own health, our own well-being, our own mental state, peace, and the environments that we're in. And I agree with Tiffany Rowe when you said there's people that you may still allow in a more public social environment, but from a private perspective, those aren't the people that you're going to ride with. Those aren't
mm,
the people you're riding with. So those are things that you have to understand and know about yourself before
mm.
you can kind of bring or understand what bucket those relationships fall into. Um, but with that said, we have to talk about how do we kind of move forward. What are the things that we need to do to be able to move forward in life? And we might have said, we've said a couple things today, right? About how we truly heal and move forward. But what are some of the things that you would say are so important for us to be able to, and again, I don't want to keep saying shut the revolving door because I think it depends on the circumstance, right? The acceptance of an apology doesn't always necessarily mean for life you're denying access, right? Because there's at some point they're going to heal and come back in or whatever have you. So what are some of the things that we need to do collectively to kind of help us to work through these elements of access to us in our lives?
For me, every day, make something a habit that's positive for yourself, not for everybody else.
Mm.
Just make every day, every day, bring something into your life that's for you, that's positive. It may be a yoga class. It may be reading a scripture. And I mean it when I mean yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It might be jumping rope. Something that is going to bring something positive, or maybe it's something that you know that's negative, and really releasing that every day. You might say, you know what, I need to release my tongue because I'm saying some real off the wall stuff.
Mm,
And I might need to really be conscientious of being making sure what's coming out of my mouth, my tongue, is not hurtful, because that might be why it's getting hit back to me. People are throwing back to me what I'm putting out there. Just
mm.
every day, make it a habit. Like Tiff Cole says, drink water
Yep.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to be confident in your decision. You have to be confident about making that decision. You've done the right thing. What I do is I take the love that I had in a relationship. What did this person teach me? And I hold on to that. I feel like everybody that you encounter is bringing something to you, especially if you had a relationship and there was some good there. So you hold on to that. And I
Yes.
think that's how you move through it. You're not angry. You're holding on to things. I had a boyfriend. He told me that everybody that you encounter should be bringing something to your life, whether they're the type of person giving you good advice or the person that's making you
Mhm.
laugh or the nurturing person. And so you hold on to those things if you have to sever the ties to that relationship. And so I think from there, you can move on, but make the right decision for yourself.
Mm.
Wow, Doris. I just literally, as soon as you
Wow.
said that, I thought about relationships that, and the things, to your point, focusing on the elements that taught you, that you learned from people, because again, they may not be part of your continued journey, but you had them in your life for a reason. There's something they brought to the table for you, and maybe it was something to have you grow, and maybe it was again, somebody's always giving you some nuggets of knowledge and some nuggets that you carry on in life. So
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Yes. I say something in reference to that. The most negative relationships I'm going to tell you what I learned from that. The most negative relationships I ever had in my life, I was not at a good point to allow somebody into my life at that moment.
Mm.
And
Mm,
I tell you, I don't make, when I'm not doing good, like here, I don't bring people into my world. I've learned for me that I cannot bring people into my world when my stuff is jacked, because I seemingly become the magnet of the crazies. And
the
their
energy. Yep.
whole purpose is to destroy me.
Yeah.
That's their whole purpose. It comes in a pretty, my favorite Tiffany blue box with a ribbon, and when I open it, it's coming out. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So I say, for me, learning, I that's something I've taken away from things that might have been toxic for me.
mm. You make actually a good point, Tiffany Rowe, because the energy that what you feel, the energy that you have about you, the aura that you throw out there, or what you're feeling at that moment, is exactly what you exude, and also bring in, because people, they just love to, they latch on to whatever you're feeling, that they feeling, they latch on to it, and then you've got that negativity that just continues to perpetuate, and it's never a good, it's never a good relationship.
Mm.
So you have to have good energy around you, to bring out the best in you and the best in others. um, Mama C said here, the soul cannot be fooled. It feels the true intentions of everyone. She was referring to a relationship that's gone sour, where all parties involved should do the self work, to remove whatever blocks are keeping them from loving one another rather than hating one another.
Mm-hmm.
So true. Soul work is essential for illuminating light into the world. This is what
Mm.
spirituality is all about. And that's there's a difference between being religious and spiritual.
Woo!
Yeah.
And when you're spiritual, there's another level of who you are as a person, rather than what religion is teaching you,
Yeah,
that you put out into the world,
that's right.
and what
That's
the
right.
Yeah.
order that you put out. And that's really our true salvation, is
Mm.
what we bring out in our soul and the work that we do, to illuminate ourselves and illuminate others, bring light into that world, help
Mm.
people feel empowered. This is the Sistership Network, right? We talk about having women feel empowered. I am not responsible for empowering you. You need to feel empowered. You need to be the empowered one. We can only help you to understand, provide wisdom, nuggets of our experiences, things of that nature, but you are empowered to do as you need to move in this life, to accept what you accept, to deny what you need to deny, and do it in your, where you are at that moment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And maybe it is taking time away, and self-reflecting, because what you're probably taking in is probably not what you need in your life.
Mhm.
Right.
And sometimes you need that self-reflection. You need that moment to step back and say, you know what? Why am I continuing to allow this to happen to me? What is
Yes.
it that I'm putting out there? And I'm not going to preach anymore. So with that said,
No,
Yeah.
no,
we
that was
can be
teach. That was
specific.
teach. That was teach. Religion is regurgitating a situation, regurgitating something you hear. Spirituality comes from, however it moves within you. And
Right.
no, being aligned with what we're talking about, I think there's so many colors, there's so many
Mhm.
age groups here. There's so many demographics that you're looking at in us,
Mhm.
even geographics, because we come from so many different, places. And if
Yep.
you can align yourself with something that somebody said or a piece that we all said, that's hopefully it's going in you to empower yourself, or at
Right.
least bring you through some real jacked up stuff, or really just make you smile. And I
Yep.
think walking in your smile is like a great step towards accepting and accessing who you are, so that other people, if you re-entertain them, they're coming, they know how to show up in your life.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You know what? Because that energy hits them right now. All of a sudden, they're like, "Ooh, we see that energy. We want to be part of that energy. We want to be
That's
a part
right.
of it." But Che, the real is the real. The facts are the facts. It is, this is the wisdom coming, right? With that said, my ladies, my sistership, the beautiful women on the sistership today. I Let's leave some parting words for our audience here, because there's so many people listening in today and going through exactly what we're talking about. That's the whole intent, right? That's what we do. What are some parting words that you have for our beautiful sistership network? And we do have the brothership joining and many men who are joining. And thank you. It is Women's Month, History Month. So, happy Women's History Month as well.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yes.
amazing women, amazing caliber of women that we have in this network, as well as the men that support us. Thank you so much. The brothership and all the men that support us in the sistership network, as well as just women in general. Thank you so much. Without you, we wouldn't continue to elevate ourselves.
Hmm.
Um, some parting words. Let's start with Doris.
I would say to not forget the lesson and carry with you the love that you got out of the relationship, the things that you taught, all the good things, and just move on.
Good one. Tiffany Rowe.
It's your girl Tiffany Rowe. I love you guys. I definitely will say, in reference to whatever goes into your spirit and feels good and pure in your spirit, that's what belongs to you. And anything and anyone that is fighting that pure space should be denied access until you finish the work that is true to you, at least until then. And
Hmm.
then at that point, you make a decision whether or not they should be part of the fruit of your labor.
Love it. Love it. Tiffany Rowe. And we've got Spicy.
Well, I want to just leave maybe you with all of you with this thought, that you have to have the willingness to invest into the relationship, but then also the acceptance of the responsibility to
Ooh,
not allow the access if
Ooh,
need
that's a
be.
word.
that's a word.
That's a word. That's a word, Jade. Spicy. Oh my God, amazing. I want to thank everyone for the Sistership Network here today. Amazing dialogue with our girl, Doris Johnson. Everything Doris. Tiffany Rowe, Bay Row Real Estate. Spicy. And your girl, Steph Fire, where we are here every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check us out on the Sistership Network, Facebook page, website. It's all about love for the Sistership. Join us every Sunday. We'll see y'all soon. Shut that revolving door. Apology accepted. Access denied. See y'all next Sunday. Love y'all.
Bye,
Love
guys.
Yeah, we on a sister ship. Come with us, we on a sister ship. Yeah, we on a sister ship. Roll with us, we on a sister ship.
Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it.
We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. Substance, sis, you know we on a mission, no games. Help each other get over some things, build strength, bring change. Cause we've been through the rain, now it's time to shine like bling. Let's talk about life skills. We building up our quality to right wills. We rolling out of poverty, love heals. So we become the prodigy of how a sistership could be a really hot commodity. Stand together, we united, hold hands. Support each other dreams and our plans, doing everything we can. Just to show we understand the power of a friendship fam. Live life on purpose, together we learn it. Yeah, let's talk, we don't wanna see you hurting. We here for each other, no matter the color, networking. That's for sure and for certain. Come on! Yeah, we on a sister ship. Come with us, we on a sister ship. Yeah, we on a sister ship. Roll with us, we on a sister ship. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya.
Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it.